All right, the man with the plan set his card down.
Uh-oh. Does that mean it's the man himself
Yes, sir.
with the calling card? First you see the card, and then you see darkness. Dun dun dun.
Him and his stack of 120 of them.
Yeah, he told me he was bringing a bunch.
Any of the
All right, folks. Tell your husbands, tell your wives. We are ready for round 7 of the Final Fantasy trading card game. The man, the myth, the legend running the stream himself, while also trying to play at the exact same time, Mr. Ghoul02, Daniel himself. Saw his calling card there on the stream just a moment ago. And yeah, I believe he is 4-2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure this is a win and in for him, possibly for his opponent as well, because I think all 5 2s are guaranteed top cut. I'm not 100% sure on that math, but. And then I recognize these Vaughn sleeves, but I do know those several people also have those. Is this someone we've seen on stream before? Who do we got on the left?
It is Ansem Q again.
Okay, so this is Ansem again. And he was on Ice Earth, correct?
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he was. I think because he was locking out the wasn't Warrior of Light. Who was he going against? He was going against maybe it was a Rydia deck. I think it was like an Earth Water Rydia deck.
Yeah, the Summoner deck, I believe. He wasn't against Armando, yes. And he had the Scale Toad that did a lot of...
Yes. Yeah, that's right. All right, so I know Ghoul has well, you should enjoy this match. His deck, but we'll see how it does against Ice Earth. I don't know if he's practiced against a lot of discard. See how he does with this. And this is our final match of the day. So once again, we got to give a big shout out to Lone Star Pack Breakers for hosting the event. Ghoul02 on stream himself and running the event. Kendall out in person there at the event, keeping us honest. And myself, Rudros, bringing to you some live commentary. Realm Storm. I want to say it's actually more Rydia summon based, but I don't 100% remember. I don't remember if Realm's in there or not. I don't think it is. But we shall see. And this is our final match for the day. I know Ghoul is 4-2, so we'll see if Ansem is also 4-2. So again, this could be a win and in for one of these gentlemen here. I think technically maybe like 1-4-3 will make it as well, but that I'm not 100% sure of. And we'll try to get those standings for the final top 32 for tomorrow, of course, once the match ends. All right. Let's end our day of FFTCG. I see Mr. Ansem has Arcanist and Nagmalata in his opening hand. That's got to feel good. Plenty of backups to pick from. Except when you say, get out of here, Nagmalata. I'm much more interested in Mr. Arcanist. Also has a Fenrir. Oh, yeah, so Ghoul, it's the Google search casting fun. He does have a Sarah. It's got to be a pretty solid opener, assuming we have some water to pitch for it. Pitch Yuffie. Are we casting the Chocomog? Yes, we are. We go get a Moogle. So we will get, this is, I don't remember what class this Moogle is from, but it is a wind backup that can also tap for Earth CP. And then, of course, we'll pitch Lucio to play it. I saw we did have a Sarah in hand, but I'm guessing we didn't have the correct CP to play it. Looks like we have double Scale Toad on Anson's side. I wonder if that's what we drew for turn or if he had one of those in there already. No sign of an Earth backup yet. We'll pitch a Scale Toad for a Scale Toad for Scale Toad. Don't get a backup, but we're happy to get this monster. There's a second Sarah. Okay, now we can do Sarah things. If we have Princess Sarah as well, I see we have Althea. So we could Althea reactivate then drop down the Sarah, then go get the Princess Sarah, play it off of the reactivated Moogle. It's one of our lines. We have an Ochu as well. I'm seeing pitch into Sarah, so I'm assuming the Sarah backup's going to come out. He's really considering it. I wonder what else he's thinking. Yep, and there's Sarah. Go get ourselves a royal. I would assume it's Princess Sarah. So there's another royal that we favor. Nope, we're going to get Althea. Going to get a different princess. Perhaps we don't run Princess Sarah in here. He's shown me this list before, but I don't have it memorized, nor do I have it in front of me. So we'll actually pitch another copy of Althea. Althea will stand up the Moogle. Presumably we're going to pass. Nope, we're going to put out the Ochu, tap 2. So now we don't have to feed anything to the Toad. And why do that when you can play Mr. Zidane and take a card off the top of our opponent's deck? Spin the wheel. Oh my goodness. We just stole Neo X Death. Oh my goodness. What a steal. And a Mist Dragon. Holy moly. Oh man. I mean, I don't know what okay, bonus. Sorry, I'm so distracted by that. Bonus burst. Do hit a Gabranth, so we can search out a forward of cost. I believe it's 4 or higher for Gabranth. Been a minute since I've seen that card, which of course means we can get Physalis, Orphan. Orphan doesn't have any cards to hit currently, but it's never a bad forward to hit out there. Man, I don't know what Ghoul would have to deal with a Neo X Death. So that was a huge hit, because if Anson had drawn that, he might have been able to just drop it. Gabranth, yeah, it could be 5 or higher too. Again, it's been a minute. I know it's either 4 or higher or 5 or higher. I know it's a or higher number. It's not meant to get low cost forwards. Yeah, it is 5 or more. Thank you for confirming. Appreciate that. I haven't seen some of these cards in quite some time and don't have them perfectly memorized. So we do get Physalis. Really good answer, especially when our opponent's hand is empty. We could lock out the Zidane. We could lock out the Althea. Physalis can block. Gosh, we could play Neo X Death next turn. We could legit just discard whatever 2 cards we draw and drop Neo X Death. Oh, that'd be gross. Gross. We do have Hecaton, so we could break the Althea. We could break the Sarah, lock us out of water. We could... Fenrir isn't terrible either. Fenrir lets us hit the Ochu and the Sarah. We could do Fenrir and Hecaton, really hit his board. Maybe that's not awful. I mean, it doesn't help us build our own board state at all, but also would basically prevent him from casting that Neo X Death, which I have to imagine is quite a real threat next turn. You can also just Physalis. Physalis will draw you a card and freeze a character on your opponent's field if you so desire. Yeah, he's got a lot of choices here. We also have a lock backup. Like, everything I've said, of course, is kind of an aggressive choice. You could also be patient. Ditch that for Physalis. The Fenrir might be a good card to hold on in case he plays Neo X Death as well, as Fenrir can deal with that card. Yep, so we'll put down Althea. It looks like we drew Prish. We could warp Prish here. Ooh, don't throw out the Fenrir, though. You might need that for your own Neo X Death. He does it, pitches lock, and Fenrir is going to warp the Prish, deal 8,000 damage to Mr. Zidane. And we're going to pass. Oh, man, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Ghoul isn't even considering it, but if I'm him, I'm like, Neo X Death, deal with this, sucker. What are you going to do? Target it with a Dull Freeze? By all means. He's clearly considering it. I don't know what he drew. Obviously, if he drew any kind of backups, he can continue to just kind of curve out that way. Plays another Zidane. Okay. Going for the 3rd rip. Zalera. Nice. That's a pretty good steal. So for 1 cost, we can kill any dull prime numbers our opponents has. I don't know what else he had, but damn, I really wanted to see Neo X-Death come down. Oh my gosh, we've got a Phasalis bullet in hand. That can blow Zidane to Kingdom Come and get the last card out of our opponent's hand. Oh, and we're doing it. Not wasting much time with that. Boom. Oh, we had Lightning. Ooh, I wonder if he should have played Lightning and just get rid of the Physalis there. I mean, I know it costs both cards in hand, but yeah, what is the man? I would have rather seen Lightning or Neo X-Death, I think. But so Physalis comes in, puts Chocobo into damage. Looks like we re-Dull froze the Althea. Why wouldn't Physalis? Oh, you're right. Sorry, Prish isn't actually there. Good call. I see the Prish on there, and I assumed Prish was physically on the field, but you're right. Prish is currently warped, so Physalis would not be removed. That color dye he has actually kind of blends in with Prish's color. So Rydia will come down on our backup line. We will search out Unileska and any summon of our choice. Going to get other Fenrir. Okay, another great card just in case Neo X-Death comes down. I'm like so fixated on that Neo X-Death, and again, Daniel could not even be thinking of it. Yeah, I did too. I legit forgot that warp counter was still on the Prish. I just assumed it was on the field. We drew Shantoto, a fine card to clear. Well, again, only Physalis is on the board, but we're not going to use it. And already Ice Earth has got you into this pattern. There's no Unileska out, but there is the Toad. So we'll see if Daniel... Okay, he is going to... Yep. So cast Zalira. Goodbye, Physalis. And do we have another play we can follow up with? Prish is going to come in and take out Althea and any forward we put out. No, we just discard Soldier to the Scale Toad and pass. Here comes Prish. Prish will, of course, attack Althea. Oh, and we drew Neo X-Death. Do we return the favor? Do we say, yeah, let's see how you like this card? I mean, especially when you don't have cards in hand, how do you deal with that? Good morning, RB Sire. Welcome to the team. You were just in time to see the Void come to town as Neo X-Death has arrived. Looks like he did draw a Yuffie. He could play it, but I mean... okay, so you either slap out the Yuffie here, swing the Yuffie. If he trades the Neo X-Death, okay, that's one card you don't have to worry about. Or you just hold your hand. You're going to have to give something up to the Toad, and then you just hope you can Shantoto on the next turn. It's quite risky, especially against an Ice Earth deck. Yep, so he sacrifices a card to the Toad. He does go for that. And he gets rid of the Ochu to Neo X-Death. Could have also played Neo X-Death in return, although he's got the smaller board, so his opponent is going to come out ahead of that. I don't think we drew discard, though. I don't think we drew discard on Anson's side, so we might be able to get that Shantoto down for Daniel. As Prish and Neo X-Death swing in. Are we going to put down that Nagmalata? No, he actually threw it out. Second Nagmalata. Threw out... Okay, we could get it back this way. Can get back, I believe, any character. So it's got 3 modes. One where you can pay extra to break all the forwards. He's obviously not going to do that. He can remove his opponent's break zone from the game. Or he can get back a character from the Materia entry effect. I don't know how much in the break zone he cares about too much. I mean, I don't hate getting something even... Yeah, Physalis is always a good one. Or, again, Nagmalata to just keep curving out your backups is also fine. Okay, so surely this is just going to be a snap Shantoto turn. Yep, there's the 3. Pitches everything but the Yuffie. Oh, there goes Neo X-Death and Prish. Phew, it paid off for Daniel there. Lucky for him, Anson was not able to make him discard anything else on that turn. And thanks for that check on the timer update. Timer is a little behind as we forgot to start it. But Daniel looking in a much better spot. There's Physalis. We still have 1 card in hand, so we'll either get a Dull Freeze or a draw. I'm going to just keep Lady Althea down. We keep our Yuffie in hand, though, which means Yuffie can now start putting in work, and yeah, pretty much Snap goes for it. Says, all right, you want to work with big forwards? Here's a big forward. Yuffie, a great counter to Phasalis. The bullet can obviously hit Phasalis before Yuffie becomes untargetable, but Ansem doesn't have that in hand currently. Yuffie's going to go to 10k, hits a point of damage, and it's another bonus burst. Our second Gabranth, which means we go get the Phasalis bullet. Oh no! oh, Yuffie just watched her own. Yuffie staring into the future. She's like, I have seen the future, and I don't like it. It foretells of my defeat. Now, we can't swing the Physalis in without dying to the Yuffie, but you surely just wait till your opponent's turn. Now, he will have Althea up unless we can get Althea down. So if you have a way to get down Althea and hold the bullet in reserve, you're sitting pretty. So there's the Tama. We can sack it to cancel an auto ability, targeting a character. Fenrir doesn't do much for us here. We have to hold the bullet. Again, he can dodge it with Althea, but that will prevent a Yuffie attack, and it will require us to use our Althea next turn. Daniel double checking to make sure he knows what that Tama does. I think you just pass. Unless there's a monster in your break zone to get back with the Larcacus. But you need the Larcachus too to use the bullet, because the bullet requires 2 ice specifically, and it's the only ice CP he has in his hand. So he's got to hold. Yep, so we got to pass. So pretty much sure we're not going to get rid of this Yuffie, as it will be protected by Althea. But again, we stop the attack. We do burn out the Althea usage. Require our opponent to reset it. Daniel knows he has the Phasalis in hand. So he knows there's no way this Yuffie is getting off an attack. Now, granted, I guess you could always use the Mist Dragon, right? That is another option. That when the Phasalis goes to shoot it, you tap 3, play the Mist Dragon, say Yuffie doesn't receive any damage, and then the bullet essentially just glances off her coat. So assuming we move to combat, does do the Althea. Yeah, I wonder if we should have done the Mist Dragon play there. Unless we're really worried about holding it for our opponent's break zone, but would have been cheaper than the Althea. Although the thing is, too, we would still have to discard a card if we did that. Because I'm pretty sure the way Physalis reads, like, even if the forward does, you still are required to discard a card. So this does prevent discard in hand, which is nice. So we'll reset the Althea. Get back Lady Toto. Don't want to jam the Yuffie back out unless we haven't gone to attack phase yet, because of course you want to make Yuffie untargetable. No, we just feed the Toad. Feed it a Juicy Sarah and pass. I mean, we're stabilizing. Ansem draws 2 upside down orphans. Orphan gonna be another great forward. If we can start hitting that hand. Yeah, now we're putting on the pressure. Which orphan will we play though? Orphan 1 or Orphan 2? I think you can get rid of the small Fenrir, right? I don't think it's going to do a whole lot at the moment. I say that, and then Ghoul's going to slap down some multi-element forward, but... Pitch 1 orphan for another? No, he's holding on to those summons. He really values those, maybe for the monster break. So we'll discard a Lulu. Here comes Phasalis. Presumably we're going to hit Althea. Yeah. Hit Althea and damage. Another Rosa. Ooh, double Rosa into damage for Ghoul. Granted, I don't know if he's anywhere close to being able to get a cast rain of casts off. And that's it. We'll pass after that. Of course, Tama cannot attack or block. We have Luso in hand. I'd be amazed if we were anywhere close to a Luso Storm off turn. Can't quite tell what else. We can Yuffie, of course. We should still have Yuffie in hand. And again, barring another Phasalis bullet, I don't think Tama can stop the Yuffie trigger, because I believe it has to be an auto that's targeting something. It could, again, I don't 100% remember how that card reads, but if it's just any auto ability, then yes, Tama can stop the Yuffie. Although currently Yuffie's still bigger than any potential blocker. Ghoul seriously considering this one. He pitches Yuffie, plays Realm. Oh my. We got monsters in here. Gosh, his deck looks awful thin already. 2 in hand, so we'll get Atomos, of course, as one of them. And Evray. Well, we're going to get some backup love here. Let me pull up Tama really quick while he's doing that. Let's see. Well, it says when a forward you control is chosen by your opponent's summoner ability, you can put Tama into the break, so when you do, cancel its effect. So it can stop Doom of the Living. It cannot stop Yuffie's natural reactivation, her attack auto ability. So can stop the Doom, won't stop the other one. So we're putting out Luso, but it's only the second cast. So Luso won't draw a card, unfortunately. Maybe we just are trying to get bodies out, or we know that the card might get ripped out of hand. I don't think we've used Evray yet, have we? Or maybe we did. Maybe that's how we... So I had to look away to look up the Tama. All right, we'll pass there. 1 in hand. Don't have to feed the toad. Ooh, White Tigerless Sea Nimbus. One of my favorite legends. Are we going to go right to attack and get that card out of hand? He kind of pointed at the orphan. Okay, yeah, so I'm assuming we went to attack. Althea back Luso. He must really value that card in hand. No, it's another Yuffie. Oh, no. Oh, man. I wonder why he went in for the realm. I mean, the monsters are nice, but we'll dull the Luso out of the way. Luso being the biggest body on the board. Of course, Atomos can become a forward. Here comes Physalis. I mean, you could dull freeze this Atomos right here. Not that you have to. Yeah, probably keep getting the Althea. Not a huge deal. Like, I think the Atomos is better because the Althea, as long as Evray is there, yeah, and he's reconsidering that now. Dull freezing Althea doesn't really do much because of Evray. I think you hit Atomos here. Or you go really next level and you hit Evray for no effect. Nope, still opts to go for Althea. On the stack, yep, scoops up Shantoto. That's kind of the only thing you can do. And then we also draw our own Shantoto for the Physalis. Block with the Realm. You know this board's getting Totoed, so you might as well send an Orphan as well. Here's damage. And it's Lightning. Also wouldn't have been a bad one to see there, although Tama could negate it. Whereas nothing's going to stop the Shantoto. Well, normally I would say you just slap down the Tiger in main 2, right? But he's got the Toto in hand. Unless you have a way to get another card out of his hand and prevent him from casting Shantoto, which, based on what I can see in his hand, I don't think you do. Yeah, you could Fenrir. You could. That's true. You could tap 3, put out the Tiger, and then pitch 3 from hand to Fenrir. It's incredibly expensive, but it guarantees your opponent cannot Shantoto. And it just ends the game right there, doesn't it? I think he's going for that, or he was considering it there for a moment. I mean, that would just end the game right there because he only has 1 backup. He'd lose the... Well, no, hold on. Yeah, so he would have, 4 in hand with the Toto. That wouldn't be... And but Evray can stand the backup that you freeze. So actually, I think he would still have enough, so... Yeah, because of if it weren't for the Evray, he could freeze him out of it, but there's no way to prevent... Yeah, not unless you can get cards out of his hand. There's no way to do it just through, at least what I can see in his hand, to do it. So in that case, you're just patient, right? Yeah, even if he Shantotos, you're going to lose 3 forwards, but you follow up with White Tiger on the next turn. He's going to have an empty hand because of it. So I think you're just patient. You just pass. Or Star Sybil. You do have, so you could sculpt it into your own. That's the only other thing I think you do here is you either get into your Star Sybil or you just pass. Because Ghoul is essentially forced to Shantoto here. He has to get these. He has to get Physalis and Orphan off the board. That's true. You could, yeah. Real Ninja pointed out in chat. You could Fenrir if you kill the Evray instead, and then you wouldn't be able to do it. But either way, again, I still think he's in a very good spot. As I don't see any other option for Ghoul here other than using Shantoto. No, he says, "Oh, I'll show you what other options there are. Behold my class 4th water Moogle, scrub." Ho, 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 ho. I don't think he would actually call anyone scrub, but it's funny to imagine, especially playing that backup. Like, that's your signature play. Not the class 4th water Moogle. So we can attack with the Atomos to reactivate backups and then pitch for the Toto. We would, of course, be losing the Evray for that, or the Atomos for that. Oh, and we're just saying it can attack. We pitched the Tiger for the Arcanist. Ugh! So much for that plan. Now he doesn't have Shantoto. Oh, no. Oh, man, that did not go according to plan. Oop. I'm assuming his plan was to attack with Atomos and then get the... And then he'd have 3 backups. He could pitch 2 in hand and put down Shantoto. Man, that, yeah. So, okay, we're going to cast Chocobo on Atomos, which is the second cast, because we played the Moogle, so we'll get 2 backups. Is this enough? We'd have 2 backups plus Atomos. Oh my goodness, and we're just breaking it outright with Fenrir. Says, yeah, that's a nice sentiment, but I really just want this game to end. And I mean, now we're stuck with a single Toto in hand. I get why you did it, Daniel. Like, he was going for the setup, right? Hey, this way I'll have 4 backups next turn, and maybe I can start to come back into it. But we're going to Mist Dragon, which does prevent the Dull, which is nice. But yeah, now you can just swing in with. Or no, we did Dull anyway. Oh, because that's right. Whatever he would have drawn would have hit it. Yep. That was that one did not go well. Super casting doesn't work well when when your opponent's hitting your hand constantly. Yeah, someone's pointed out he could have targeted Luso with the Chocobo. I'm guessing the reason he didn't is because he wanted the blocker still. Whereas if he bounces Atomos, assuming it works, he can keep Luso as well. No, because he would have Shantoto'd it anyway, right? So yeah, then if your whole plan was I'm going to Shantoto this, then yeah, you got to pick the Luso. Could have just gone for the straight Toto, of course. Even if he does that though, like if he had just gone right into the Shantoto, basically would have cost him his entire hand. Maybe would have kept 1 card, and then Anson is just free to basically rebuild how he chooses to. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it gives you a chance. And Ghoul gives away a foil signature version of his own card. Says, here you go. Know that you have received a Ghoul. All right. And I know our timer is about 10 minutes behind. So we're actually coming up to near the end of the time round anyway. And folks, that is our 7th round. Congratulations to Anson. I'm assuming that improves him to 5-2, but I 100% didn't know his record beforehand. Ghoul will drop to 4-3, unfortunately for him. Maybe there's hope for him to sneak into the top cut, but I'm not sure. So that is the actual trading card action we have for the day. Stick around. Going to try to get you the final standings, let you know who's going to be top 32 for tomorrow before we sign off on the stream. And I'll go ahead and get one more. Thanks to Lone Star Pack Breaks for hosting the store championship, Ghoul for streaming it, my buddy Kendall for being my eyes and ears on the ground there and helping run everything in person. And I'm, of course, your caster, Travis. And let's get those top cut standings, and then we can sign off from Texas for the day and prep for tomorrow's top 32, the 4th Materia Cup of the 2023 Final Fantasy TCG competitive season.